Welcome everybody to, it is August 31st. We are officially almost done with August, which I know a lot of us, August has been a stressful month, so we're like, yay, August is almost over. I know that we have a sweet moms on the call going back to work, which is so sad. So we'll be saying prayers for Miss Amber. But welcome to Restoration Nation Team Call tonight. I am really excited about this topic. Now, there are a variety of coaches on the call, so I want you to remember that this is a couple things. One, these are just Rachel's opinions. So you can do whatever the heck you want to do with your social media. But I'm going to share with you some of my beginning posts as a coach with social media, things I did well, things I did wrong, things I've learned over the last year and a half, and then kind of where we as a team are headed with our social media and give you some tips and suggestions on all of that good stuff. But remember, it's just my opinion. You can do and be, that's the beauty of owning your own business, is you can do it however you want to, which is awesome. I only have two announcements tonight. Number one is, well, I guess, yeah, really two. Number one is Super Saturday. That is September 16th. Nope. Yes. September 23rd, which is at the end of this coming month. And if you are not connected to the Super Saturday information for your local area, because some of us are local to North Carolina and some of us are not, so in your back office, you can go to My Business and you can go to the events, and then it'll connect you. You're going to look for Super Saturday, and it'll tell you where to go to find the closest Super Saturday to you. Super Saturday is incredible. I know that many of you have heard the story before, but for me, that was the turning point in my business where I went from just dabbling in coaching to when I went to a Super Saturday event in January of 2016. It changed my life. And so I'm hardcore in love with events. So I highly recommend if you're able to get to one. I know that our local coaches are going to the Raleigh Super Saturday. And so you can purchase a ticket. I think it's like $15 or something like that. The team calendar is up for September. So make sure to take a peek at that. We have dates for our team dinner if you're local. We have dates for Super Saturday on there. We also have things as far as like Sagi's workout program. His week of hard labor comes out right after Labor Day. So there's a lot of stuff coming out this month. Just go to the team calendar and make sure you're aware of the moving pieces in the puzzle for the month as far as announcements and all that stuff. And that's really all I've got as far as announcements. So we're going to get into the meat of the call. I am going to do, I'm like all fancy tonight, but I want it, part of social media is being able to visually see the right and the wrong of social media. And so I really wanted to show you what I found on the internet with coaches that are doing it really well. There's not people on our team. And the coaches that are doing it really wrong, also not people on our team. So these are outside representations of what you could do as a coach. And like I said, these are just my opinions, but I think social media is truly our storefront, and it takes time to master you and your niche on social media. As I look back on tonight when I was trying to find screenshots for you, I was like, wow, I have changed so much as a coach on social media. Like the way that I present myself, the way that I share my journey, the way that it's so radically different. And I feel like what I'm doing now is working so much better. And I want to share that with the team. So I'm going to do a presentation. I cannot see your faces when I do this presentation. So if you have a question, like in the moment, go ahead and unmute yourself and I'll X out the presentation so we can talk about it. If not, save it till the end and we'll go over it at the end. But I'm going to start screen sharing, hopefully, in just a second. Hold please. All right, we're gonna minimize this. Oh shoot. Give me 1 minute. Okay, here we go. I had to pull it up first and then I can screen share. Now, share screen. Okay, now can everybody see this social media don'ts page? Yes. Got some head shakes, yes. Okay. So if you can't, or if anything freezes at any point in time, go ahead and give me like a whoa, slow down. And I'm just going to scroll like this because I want to be able to see your faces. So this might not be the prettiest way that we could do this, but I don't care. All right, so social media do's and don'ts. Like I said, these are my opinions. You can do whatever you want, but in my something that I have seen is a shift in my business in the last couple months, particularly, is I have really intentionally steered away from Beachbody. And we as coaches, we are not selling XYZ products. We are selling ourselves. We're selling a relationship. We're selling a community. And so I think that is very evident in the way that we do or don't post on social media. And so I've really made this intentional shift in the last 6 months to avoid using any and all terms that link me to Beachbody. Not because I don't fully believe and back everything that Beachbody represents. It's because there are people who have spoiled it for us. There are quote unquote bad coaches who word vomit on social media and plaster junk everywhere. And it turns people off from Beachbody before they even give you a chance. So I had a conversation with someone a few weeks ago, and I had just been building that relationship. She had been going through a tough time with her family. There had been a loss in her family. I was just using my social media to minister to her. I built that friendship up. She's a blogger. And eventually, in time, when I felt the timing was appropriate, I sent her an invite for Fitness Feud. And she was like, yes, please tell me more information. I would love that. I said, well, fill out this form. We got all through that. And I started in on my recommendations for her for what I thought would work best for her. And she literally pumped the brakes. And she said, oh, no. I didn't know that you were with Beachbody. And she was like, I thought this, and literally these were her words, I thought this was a legitimate coaching business that you ran online and provided support for other women. And I got so angry. I was like, that's what I do. That is literally what I do as a coach. And so I combated that response. And I just said, hey, I would love to hear what made you have such a bad experience in the past with Beachbody. And, and so we talked about it. And she was like, you're very different than any other coach that I have seen, where all my friends it feels to me like they're just running down a rabbit hole to get a sale. And she said, I don't feel that way with you. I'm not ready right now, but I'm not saying no to you. So she wasn't a yes, but it showed me that I was doing something right with my social media, because she had no idea that I was a Beachbody coach. She thought I was, which I am, a health and fitness professional, and that could provide a service to her. And so it was a good affirmation of what I was doing was going well. And so these are the don'ts, and it's based out of those people who poison the water for all of us. So don'ts are, don't use, there's somebody unmuted, so I'm going to unmute or mute everyone. There we go. Okay. Don't use Beachbody terms in your posts. Like I said, these are my opinions. Things like Shakeology, like actually physically using the word Shakeology. If somebody has seen somebody who posts a sweaty self or posts a selfie with a Shakeology cup and been turned off by it, they're not going to give you the time of day. When you have heart, which is the difference between you and other coaches, they're immediately going to turn you off because you're using the word Shakeology. So substitute it with things like my superfoods or my smoothie breakfast or whatever it may be. But avoiding things like Shakeology, generic terms like 21-day fix, Beachbody on demand, using those terms is basically what that does is if somebody doesn't know what it is, they can Google it. And then if they want to buy it, they can buy it online and they don't need you. What you want is for them to ask you what you're doing, for them to ask you what you're using so that then they can purchase through you. That's the real reason why it's called curiosity marketing. So like take Shift Shop, for example. I have my nice t-shirt that I got in the mail today. So Shift Shop is the brand new workout program that just came out. Super intense, but I never once on my social media used the word Shift Shop because I didn't want somebody Googling it and going and finding it on Amazon where they could purchase it. So I used terms like 3-week ramp-up style program, or I'm in week 1 of my slim down, like I use different terms for that. And I had people messaging me and saying, well, what is it that you're doing now? I noticed that you're doing something new. And so I used alternate phrases. So things like, if I was doing 21 Day Fix, I might use something like this 30-minute total body fitness overhaul, or something outside the box that's not 21 Day Fix. So that's piece one. Don't post stock images. I don't think anybody on our team does this because I'm very, very quick to nip it in the bud if they do. But don't post stock images because it emotionally connects in no way with your audience. So if by posting a stock image, then you're immediately like that, it to me screams salesperson, and we don't want to be salespeople. Don't post links. That's common knowledge. Don't post a link to your website. That's all, kind of basic stuff. Okay, so why do we not post that? We're not Beachbody robots. It is Coach Laurel is what we're trying to get people to join in with, or Coach Amber. We're not trying to get people to join Beachbody. We want them to join a community of love and support. So we're seeking to educate people, not word vomit info. So, you're telling a story about your life, but you're educating your audience. Okay, so we love Shakeology, but why do we love Shakeology? What has it done for us? What are the ingredients that make it so amazing? And I think a lot of that stems from we as coaches should take initiative and work to educate ourselves on the products and the systems and things like that. So when I talk about the Fixate nutrition system, I'd say my portion controlled nutrition system, or I don't say Fixate nutrition plan. So seek to educate, not word vomit, and explain why you are doing the lifestyle that you're doing. Is what you're posting a turn off to your friends and family? If you were in your friends and family's shoes and they looked at your social media page, would they be like, oh my gosh, girl, that Rachel, I'm so proud of my sister. Like, she is rocking it. Or would she be like, that's not my sister, please don't look at me. We want them to be proud. So if they were to look at our social media and it would scream Beachbody, then they might not like that very much. And so that's, while we shouldn't necessarily go off everybody's opinions, because not everybody's going to have an awesome opinion, is what you're posting a turn off to friends and families. Leaving breadcrumbs, not neon signs. So when we're doing challenge group posts and we're doing our workout posts and things like that, you can talk about your day and plug your workout into the content of your day. Amber did a really nice job with this, with the post that she did recently, where she was talking about making dinner. As a new mom, she's working to be healthy. She made turkey chili. She posted a picture of herself with her baby on her, and she was multitasking and eating dinner. Making dinner, making turkey chili. And it was showing, that she was breadcrumbing this healthy lifestyle, but it showed her life. And so people were like, oh, what is Amber doing? Like, she's a new mom. Like, she's got this teeny tiny baby. I can do it too. And that provides hope to somebody. So, when I talk about the coaching opportunity, I leave breadcrumbs. So I talk about the craziness in my toddler tantrums, and at the end, I'm like, or when we were potty training, I said, potty training sucks so bad, because it really does. At the end, I can say, well, I'm really glad that I'm able to be home with him thanks to my coaching business. It's a breadcrumb. It's not, here's my team, join my team. It's a breadcrumb at the end of the post. A tip is, if in 2 scrolls of your page there's not a single non-Beachbody post, that's a huge problem. So be you. Beachbody is just an extension of who you are. If you make this huge mind shift when you become a coach, that you now have to be a Beachbody billboard, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be successful, because people are going to buy into you and your changes and your success before they're going to buy into a product. They want relationship. I think I'm reiterating that point pretty hard. Okay, so here is some what not to do's. I pulled this directly off Instagram. So I just Googled the hashtag 21 Day Fix, and this is what popped up. So this girl is clearly a coach. She is clearly on her journey. Those are both great things that she's posting about. But when you look at this, your brain is so confused. You have no idea where to look. There's so much going on in this picture. And she had really good intentions, but there was so much in this graphic that if it were me and she popped up on my social media, I'd probably just scroll on past, because I was like, what and then like just kept going. The quality of the pictures are just terrible. And so one of the things that I've focused on with my pictures is I don't make my pictures perfect. I don't stage my pictures. I don't put up this pretty light for my pictures. Like, it's just the quality is the quality of your picture good. And Beachbody is plastered everywhere on this post. So you've got 21 Day Fix. You've got all of her hashtags are like Beachbody, like screams Beachbody. So when now Instagram is a whole nother world. So when you're posting on Instagram and you're using the hashtag 21 Day Fix, you're probably only going to be posting to a bunch of coaches. So it's kind of a waste of time to use 21 Day Fix, Size, Hammer Chisel, Beachbody On Demand, because you're not going to attract anybody but coaches. So this is an example of what not to do. This is a better option. Now the picture is clear, her face is visible. It's an image that makes you stop and want to read what she had to say, but when her content came around, it provided no value. I have no idea how her workout went. I have no idea, did she struggle that day? Was it easy for her to work out? Did she have to overcome anything? It didn't connect with me in any capacity. So while her image is a whole lot better than something crazy, it still had room for improvement. And I can't wait for y'all to see some of my beginning posts that I'm going to share with you at the end of the call. Because I did this like all the dang time. Okay, so social media don'ts continue over. So here's a couple of things I've added on. So some of those are like no-brainer stuff. These are some of the things where that I've realized that had not worked well in my business in the past year and a half, because I used to do a lot of these things. So one thing is overusing quotes. So there is nothing wrong with sharing an inspirational quote. But when your page is only inspirational quotes, people aren't going to connect with that. You know, they may not even take the time to read what you wrote with the quote, and it might be some really good content. When I was scrolling through my page, I was like, man, some of these posts were really good, but they got like 4 likes on them because it wasn't a picture of my face. People didn't connect with it emotionally in any way. Another thing is, don't copy someone else. There's a lot of reasons why not to do this. Number one is that Facebook's algorithms, if you copy and paste someone else's text, Facebook keeps your post out of people's feeds, which is not cool. So if you're going to use someone else's post as an inspiration, totally okay. Like, I use other successful coaches' posts as inspiration, and I just rewrite the whole thing in my words, in my terms. Don't worry about fussy and pretty pictures. If you're spending more than 5 minutes creating your daily journey post, then you're overthinking it. And I had to do a gut check with that recently, because I would do workout videos every single day, but it was taking 15-20 minutes to edit one workout video. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I could be sending 5 to 10 invites to people and messaging people back and building a business instead of spending 15-20 minutes a day on a workout video. So I streamlined it. I'll do a couple of videos a week, and then I just don't worry about the fussiness. I don't put crazy graphics on the pictures. You know, you can do whatever you want on your social media, but if your time is better spent not making a jazzy graphic, use your time to build relationships with people. Use your time to minister to people, and to be engaged in your challenge. There's just a better use of your time than creating fussy graphics for your page. And quite honestly, if it's not something that's really aesthetically pleasing, you're probably not going to see the return on it. So, you know, if you have a stylist eye, and I'll show you an example here. I think I have an example maybe in a second. If you have a stylist eye and that's your niche, then go for it. But if you don't, then just don't waste your time making fancy graphics and all that kind of stuff. Like, post a picture of your sweaty face, or post a picture of you doing a workout move and call it a day. You know, you got other things to do. You got a business to grow. Here's an example of someone who is very aesthetically pleasing. She does a really great job of how her quotes are, or how her if she's going to do fussy graphics, this is a great example of how to do that. It's a consistent theme. Her other pictures, this was like the first screenshot. This is a random coach I found. A first screenshot of her page. I could see it was eye-catching. There's no Beachbody images on here. It provides value. Visually, you can see what she's eating, and that provides value to somebody. But don't stress about pretty in your social media. It's a waste of time to really stress on aesthetically what it looks like. Just post. If it takes more than 5 minutes, just post. Just focus on clear pictures, so good quality images, and the story you want to convey, and everything else will fall into place. Okay, so those are the don'ts. These are the social media do's. So the number one mistake that I have seen coaches on my team, coaches and surrounding teams make on social media is inconsistency. That means taking multiple days off of social media and completely going MIA, or being completely inconsistent in your journey and not sharing it every single day. The reason why is when you stay consistent, your followers will think of you when they have a health or fitness need. So I get referrals from people that aren't even my clients, because when somebody is talking to them and having a normal everyday conversation, they're like, man, I feel so miserable after that holiday. I need to lose weight. Then so-and-so says, you know what? There's this girl that I'm friends with on Facebook. Her name's Rachel, and she's a health and fitness coach. You should reach out to her. I've gotten referrals that way because I'm consistent. That was the one promise I made to myself when I started, is that no matter what, I was going to share every single day. It might not be 10 times a day. It might just be Thursdays are my hardest day to share because my schedule is so busy, but I'm at least sharing once a day on my page. And that consistency has paid off over the last year and a half, because when they think health and fitness, they think Rachel. When they think boy mom, they think Rachel. There's different reasons why they think of me, but it's because I'm consistent on my social media. So this is one thing that I would recommend everyone do. If you audited your social media page, and this is really for coaches who've been around longer than a week. If you haven't been around for very long, you're going to have a hard time auditing your page because you probably don't have much content on there yet. But when you're farther in your journey, you should be able to, in 3 to 5 scrolls, and y'all have heard me say this before, you should have a post from every single one of these categories. People should go to your page and in 3 to 5 scrolls be able to see that 1, you're a coach. 2, that you are on your own health and fitness journey. 3, who do you love in your life? 4, a transformation of some kind. That doesn't mean a physical transformation. That means a transformation of some kind, emotional, mental, financial, physical, whatever it might be. 5, 2 non-Beachbody interests or hobbies. So that means non-family, non-Beachbody, that kind of thing. 6, at least 1 call to action within the 3 scrolls. So a call to action post is truly just inviting people to join you. Every post that you do isn't going to be like that. But having at least 1 to 2 call to action posts within the first 3 to 5 scrolls. That way people know that you're a professional in the business and they can join you. So I encourage you to do an audit of your page and see how you do. And that will really highlight where your focus is, where you can make some shifts in your business and really focus and hone in on your strengths. So social media tips. The biggest thing, imperfection is beautiful. So a lot of times people think when they become a health and fitness coach, they can never have another cheat meal, and they can never skip a workout, and they've got to do everything perfectly. And we are humans first and foremost. And secondly, I don't know about you, there are coaches that I follow that I look up to a lot, that I look at their life and I'm like, oh my gosh, Ashley Smith is so, she does everything right. How can she have 2 kids and juggle up 2 businesses? And she's always freaking happy. How is that possible? That's not relatable to me, because that's not my life. My life is crazy. I have a toddler who goes insane, and that's just the way that my life is. And so imperfection is a beautiful thing. I don't want you to feel like you have to steer away from saying you skipped a workout, or saying that you had a cheat meal, or a couple weeks ago I posted a picture of me with a box of Oreos, and I talked about my food addiction and talked about a slip up that I had and how I overcame it. So remember that imperfection is a beautiful thing. Being relatable is wonderful. When sharing, and here's something too, when sharing a problem, so let's say you're having a crazy craving, okay? You're craving some really yummy French fries, and you post that on social media. If that's all you posted, that you're craving yummy French fries, that doesn't inspire anybody. If you talk about how you're craving yummy French fries, but instead of going out, you went for a walk instead and your mindset is so much better, or you popped a piece of gum in your mouth and you no longer wanted it, whatever it may be, you share the solution on how you combated that. And that is the difference. That's where you go from people watching to inspiring people with your journey. Your vibe will attract your tribe. This is a term that you'll hear a lot in Beachbody, but it's really true. If you have a very negative social media presence, you're going to attract negative people. And so if you're posting, that doesn't mean you have to be a ray of sunshine. Y'all know, you've been on my social media, I'm not a ray of sunshine every single day. But I try to share, like today, I put up a post this afternoon and I talked about how hard it was when that stupid car nap messed up the whole dang day, and Aiden's whole schedule was messed up, and I was in a funk and I already didn't feel good, and I could go on and on complaining. But at the end, I talked about how because of my journey, I am mentally more stable and I can mentally overcome my negative mindset and intentionally make that shift. And so I shared the side that was positive to that negative situation. Post when your audience will see. So think about who you're trying to reach when you're posting. If you're trying to reach, for me, I now reach a lot of moms, which tend to be working moms, stay-at-home moms, and they're on social media a variety of times a day, so I don't really pay attention to when I'm posting. But if you're working, you're going to probably attract people who are also in the workforce. So you're going to want to post during a time of day that those people will see it. So take, for example, you have a really killer transformation post and you have you emotionally connected so much in this post and you're like, man, this post is awesome and people are going to love it and it's going to inspire. People are going to come out of the seams because they want to join me because it's so awesome. And you post it at 2:00 in the afternoon and it gets 3 likes. And you're like, what the heck? Your audience probably is not seeing it at 2:00 in the afternoon. If you were to post that same post at 9 p.m., 8:30, 10 o'clock at night, when your tribe is on social media, then you're probably going to get a whole lot more traction on that post. Be mindful with your opening sentences on posts that you want to make a strong impact. So a lot of times this is transformation posts, call to action posts. So let's say you're putting up a transformation and you want people to look at it. Instead of titling it, I'm looking for 5 women to join me, that's your opening sentence, change that. Say, I remember when I used to hate myself every time I looked in the mirror. Now, which post are you going to want to read? The first one or the second one? You're going to want to read the one that you emotionally that drew you in and you're like, oh, I want to read this story. So that opening sentence, that's your chance to grab somebody's attention. So I encourage you to really be intentional about that first sentence. That's a shift I've made in the last 6 months that have really paid off. Of all of the posts of what I do, that first sentence is the one that I want people to read and say, stop their scroll, and then continue to read the post. So that catchier it is, the better. Keeping your posts 2 to 3 paragraphs tops. I can also be pretty bad at this. I'm just gonna be honest with you. When I get to telling a story, I just want to keep typing. But usually most people's attention span is no more than 3 paragraphs. So that's just a tip. So I know one of the questions that we had gotten in our event page was, I don't know what to post. What am I supposed to post? I have leave a boring life. I don't know what to post. And I got to be honest with you guys. I've gone through, out of my entire 1.5 years or a little over as a coach, I'm in this season with you too. Sometimes I have these moments where I'm thinking, do people really want to hear about Aiden's antics today? Do people really care if that pregnant girl worked out today? You go through that, and that's just the negative voices in your head that that's doubt, that's fear in your head. And so I encourage you to challenge yourself to shift out of that mindset, because one of the things on here is you're not boring. It's all in your head, because guess what? Your tribe is just like you. I'm boring, and half of you people are too. And so I attracted you because you're just like me. And that's not a bad thing. We can be boring together. And yes, my life is pretty boring. I work from home. I'm pregnant. I have a toddler who goes crazy. And I don't know that I have any hobbies or interests outside of working. Like, my life revolves around my Beachbody hustle and my family. But I share it in a way that I tell a story throughout my day, to where it's not just stating facts throughout my day, if that makes sense. Find different ways to provide value by showing how you overcome the day-to-day. So specifically for those, so I'm going to call Kayla out on this. So Kayla is a working mom. She was one of the ones who was like, I'm boring, I don't know what to post. But Kayla has a lot to offer in the aspect that she can share how she's working her business in her lunch hour. She can share how she's reading her personal development or listening to audio podcasts on the way to work. She can share that she gets up early in the morning and she works out, and she shares those things. So she does have a lot of value to post. She just doesn't realize it. So not to call you out or anything. When you have no motivation to pull from, you either aren't doing personal development or you're overthinking it. So those are usually the two main culprits when people say, I don't know what to post. Personal development is a gold mine. And if, as someone who, I gotta be straight up with y'all, I did not see the value in doing personal development for the first year of my business. And quite honestly, I was pretty scattered with doing it the first year of my business, but I kept hearing that it was so great and that we should be doing personal development. And I thought, okay, well, if all these successful coaches are doing it, I should probably do it too. But what it has allowed me to do is it gives me something to post about that's not just go work out, you suck, or don't beat yourself up, go work out. It's not one of those two things. It's, let me address the heart issues that I'm thinking about in my personal journey in personal development. So when you're struggling with what to post, if you're doing personal development, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have something to post on social media. Or you're overthinking it. You probably do have something that you can share. Maybe you have a really easy, tasty, delicious lunch that you cooked and took with you to work that day, and you could share how to make it. And so things like that, thinking outside the box. One of the things that's been helpful for me is making a list of and I really encourage each of you to do this. So make a list of each of the following categories. So take a piece of paper and label it and say strengths. So I want you to take some time to write down, what are your strengths as a person? Are you kind? Are you compassionate? Do you take initiative? Are you a quick learner? And highlight some of those strengths. Then get another piece of paper and do pain points. When you think about your life, what are some pain points that you think about? So for me, there are several pain points in my life that I'm still not ready to talk about on social media. And honestly, I don't know that I'll ever be. But I have made a list of pain points in my life that I have worked to overcome. And a lot of that stemmed around my food addiction. I was a closet eater. I really struggled with the drive-thru. I still struggle with the drive-thru. But that gave me a springboard to think of things to share. So struggles is another one. Interests. So what things interest you? I'm a hardcore coffee addict. I love coffee. So being pregnant kind of sucks with the whole coffee thing. But I love coffee. So prior to being pregnant, I would get people who would send me coffee memes like all day long because I talked about how much I love coffee. What are your interests that have nothing to do with Beachbody? Do you love to be outdoors? Do you love to garden? Are you really good at organizing? Personally, I'm kind of a slob and my life is super disorganized. So I talk about that because there are other people out there that are like me that don't have it all together, and you know what? We can be kind of a slob together. Family and then history and stories. So when I'm posting things, I try to tell a story that will connect with someone. So when I'm talking about my mom on social media, or if Aiden spends some time with her so that I can work, I share a story of, her from going up, or how it has helped me, or things like that. I see somebody in the chat. Hold on. About timing a post. What and how do you recommend posting when your schedule is all over the place? Just post whenever you're available, because you can't rely on other people's schedules and like try to stress yourself out to accommodate other people. So as long as you're posting, that's all that matters. If your schedule is all over the place, then the most important thing is that you post, not worry about it. Your impactful posts, your call to action posts, your transformations, things like that, I would worry about the timing on. The rest of it, you can just do whenever. Yes, set reminders. Okay. Make a list. We talked that. Keep a list of ideas on your phone. So a lot of times I'm not at a place, I'm busy, wrapped up in mom life, and I'm not at a place where I can create a post, but I had a really great idea for a post. So I keep a running note tab on my phone, and that way I can put those ideas in there, and when I have a second, I can go back to that list and use that as inspiration for a post. Okay, so final thoughts. In an ideal world, okay, if we were all had an endless time, endless motivation, endless content, in an ideal world, 3 posts a day is the goal. Do not stress about the number. The important thing is that you're showing up every single day. One day, if you show up 5 times in a day, that's great. The next day you only show up 1, that's fine. But if you're showing up every day, that's at the end of the day what matters, and that you're providing a variety of value, not just Beachbody. But a general rule of thumb, if you can do it, is 3 posts a day, 1 Beachbody, 1 non-Beachbody, and then 1 value post. That could be a recipe. It could be a story of how you overcame a struggle that day, but you're providing value to your audience. The other things, put up 1 to 3 transformations a week, not just physical. You don't have to do a big post on this. So today I did a transformation post. There was no physical evidence of transformation. It was all talking about my mental transformation in the last 2 years. Be a storyteller, not a fact spiller. When you can make that transition and you become a storyteller in your posts, then that will reach the masses over sharing facts. So I have found that my call to action posts that do the best are the ones that connect emotionally. It's when I'm sharing about my struggles and I'm sharing how I overcame them versus sharing a post that lists, when you join me, you get me as your coach, you get the nutrition plan, you get workouts, you get support, you get, nobody can connect with a list. So while those are not bad by any stretch of the imagination, and people will, ask questions, you're going to get more response from the transformations and storytelling than you would if you were just stating facts. One of the things that I've realized, particularly as I was going about my prep for this call, I realized that I have tried and failed a lot of things on my social media. And those first 5 months as a coach, there were some rough posts and there was some pretty salesy stuff that I put out there. And I didn't know any better. And so I just did it. And in time, through problem solving and figuring out what was going well, adjusted my philosophy of my social media. But just be willing to try and fail until you find your niche. That's going to take time, and that your niche will change as you change, and that's okay. So for me, I noticed a huge change in my social media when I came home. So when I was working, and I was working to come home, I had a very distinct social media presence. When I made that shift to come home, it took me a couple months to figure out my new social media presence, because I kind of floundered a little bit. I was like, I don't know what to share about, because I'm no longer the working mom. I'm the stay-at-home mom. I didn't know how to do that. And so I just shared, and I kept trying and failing and realizing that did change in time. A couple tips: share the successes of your challengers and team. If you don't have your own challengers and team, that's cool. Share some from our team. Ask for transformations or stories from within our team that you can share on your page. And that is a great way to start. But don't be afraid to screenshot conversations and blurb out their names or who it is and post that on your page. When using terms like challenge groups, be very mindful to explain what that means. And this was something I really didn't realize that I was super bad at until recently. I would just like, join my challenge. And I'm realizing they don't even understand what a challenge is. Like, what is a challenge? If I had nothing to do with Beachbody, would I understand what I was talking about? So I changed my verbiage to my 30-day virtual fitness group or things like that. And that connected with people a lot more. Okay, so these are baby Rachel posts, okay? We all start somewhere, right? So these are Coach Rachel gone wrong, and I'll be happy to share this slideshow so that y'all can actually pull it up and see it. These are from the beginning stages of my business. So that top right, I mean, hello, it screams Beachbody, it screams Shakeology, Hammer and Chisel, portion, like, it just screams Beachbody. And in the content, I provided no value whatsoever. You know, it says the kind of mail I love getting. Okay, well, how does that help anybody? How do people even know what Hammer and Chisel is? What are those containers for? You know, I did not educate in any capacity on this post. So the second one, also very early on in my journey, the content of that post actually wasn't that bad. It talked about how I overcame the fact that I didn't want to work out, but there was my face wasn't anywhere. So this got like 4 likes on the post, and that was it. But it was a stock image, there was no face, and people probably scrolled past too fast to even read what I wrote. Okay, and the last one, this one makes me more mad than anything. I saw this and I was like, are you serious, Rachel? Like, okay, the thing I did right, I didn't have a Shakeology cup, so that was good. But it's my sweet little perfect little chunky monkey 6-month-old, and he's drinking Shakeology, and I had a perfect window of opportunity to talk about how awesome it is that my little one who refuses to eat vegetables will drink Shakeology and I don't have to worry about his body. And I missed that whole window of opportunity. So I provided, it literally says, Aiden loves my Shakeology as much as me. 2 thumbs down for Coach Rachel on that post, because who cares if Aiden likes my Shakeology post? You know, what value am I providing to my audience with that? None. I didn't educate them in any way. So that's baby Coach Rachel. And some of these are not that old. Like that one with Aiden, I think was maybe 8 months ago. Okay, so now it gets better in time. I eventually found my social media group. So I just took a snapshot of some of the current pictures that I put up recently. As you can tell, there's a ton about my family. You know, there's a ton. It shows that I have a team that you can join. It shows that I work hard. You know, there at the bottom where my husband and I are working late. It shows I'm on my own fitness journey. There's a transformation. I do recognition for my team. There's nothing in this that screams Beachbody. And so that was the shift that I have made that has when I made the mindset shift to emotionally connect with my audience, that's when I started to build meaningful relationships. And that's when I attracted amazing people like you guys on my team, is when I made that shift to my business. So just remember, that's a wrap. Remember that you are valuable, that what you have to offer as a coach is valuable, that you are not a salesperson, you're not a Beachbody robot, and that it is okay to put up things that, you know, maybe aren't ideal. And I don't even know if she's on. I'm going to end the screen share so I can see y'all's faces. She is on, but she's muted. So I have to commend Amanda, because I feel like Amanda has made the biggest shift in her social media, particularly in the last 2 months. And I saw her go from just sharing facts really about her journey as a coach to really fine-tuning and emotionally connecting with her audience in a way that has blown me away. So, but she had to try and fail and figure out what worked for her, and I think that's incredible. So that's all I've got for you tonight. I went really long. I'm sorry, y'all. I like to talk. I try to keep these calls at 30 minutes, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So does anybody have questions, comments, concerns? We have a lot of new coaches on the call. Anything that anybody wants to say? Questions? No? Everybody good? Yes? Don't all speak up at once. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to post them in the team page. If you're concerned about a post and you're not sure if you should post it, screenshot the words and put it in the team page and let us help you. That's the purpose of having a team like that. You're not really certain, and it will take some time for you to find your groove. But the more you and the more heartfelt that you can be on your social media, the more successful that you'll be as a coach. And as a team, that's the direction that I want to take us in. I want us to be people-focused and not sales-focused. It's very easy, especially as we're pushing for this big goal of elite by the end of the year, to focus on the numbers. And when we focus on that and we share in a way that we have that in the back of our minds, the number, people can feel that. They're going to feel your intention. They're going to feel the sale behind it, and they're going to tune you out. So come from a place of genuineness, come from a place of heart, and you can't go wrong. So I think that's all I've got. If nobody has any questions or anything, no? Okay. So next week, I will go live in the team page. If you're struggling with something, I would love to know about it. That way I can maybe address it in the live video. So we won't have a team call next week. And then the week after, we move to Monday nights. So just make sure that you pay attention to the schedule that's in the team page. Okay, thank you guys so much for taking your time to join us tonight. You are awesome, and I will post a recording of this call soon. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.